I'm curious to see what they do. But yeah, we don't really have much to go on aside from Ron Howard's Instagram. So. Right. I figured we'd kind of take a look at some of the things that he's posted on his own personal page, and I don't know, talk about them.
Yeah, let's sort of just like, I don't know, geek out about everything we've seen so far. So on the right is concept art that I believe came from, was it Russia? It was like Disney Russia.
So that's going to be the thing that's on the corner of all the products.
Yeah.
That's going to be there, like they have, I don't know, they had Rey in the white background with the red stuff for The Last Jedi, or the Kylo Ren for the Force Awakens. It's going to be like that.
Yeah, so this will be for product shots, for marketing, all sorts of stuff. I don't think this will be actual posters or anything like that, but it gives us a good idea of what, the two main characters look like. Chewbacca in the corner, who unsurprisingly looks exactly the same. Chewbacca is something like 800 years old or something like that, so or 200 years old, doesn't really change. And then in the corner we have Khaleesi playing her new character in this movie, which I don't think we know the name of yet.
I believe her name is Qi'Ra.
Oh,
which is interesting. Cool. It's like QI''RA,
right?
Which is funny because Rey's character was originally called Qi'Ra in like early versions of the Force Awakens script. So that's kind of an odd little sort of hand-me-down there. There's Brandon Hunt.
There he is.
He's there on Chewbacca.
Happy birthday this year.
Thanks. Good job, Brandon.
So on the left, obviously, here's the first shot of, very obviously put together, Lando Calrissian.
I was going to say Chun-Li.
Yeah,
that looks like Chun-Li's dress. I think that Chun-Li is going to be in Solo, a Star Wars. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Really.
Can we ditch the lower third there? There we go. Beautiful. That's a nice transition. All right, so it says, care to guess whose closet this is? I think we already did. Moving forward, we have this control panel, droids and people working together. Yes, there will be droids. These are all the official captions from his page. So we see what looks like astromech droids with weird little pincher claws, which is kind of interesting. What I like about this is it's going back to the prequels era, but also kind of leaning into some of the grimier side of stuff. Mm-hmm. So I think it's going to feel aesthetically a lot like A New Hope. So a lot of those crappy droids that you saw the Jawas roll out at the beginning of the movie, I think you're going to start to see them here.
We need more of those. What I really hope we see here, and this is effectively, also that looks very much like a studio control board.
There we go. Oh God,
makes you wonder, are they just using studio equipment there, or is that like a prop? Like, I don't really know.
Yeah, it's tough to say. Is that going to be in the movie, or is that how they're making the movie?
I think that they used actual studio equipment for some of the Death Star controls. I'm not sure, but yeah, basically, we haven't really seen a proper transition of prequel era stuff to original trilogy stuff, and we bits and pieces here and there in Rebels and in Rogue One, and really well in the comics. One thing I love is there's a bit in I think it's in the Darth Vader comic where there are like pirates, they're space pirates who bought a bunch of destroyer droids. Like, they bought a bunch of army surplus, like, droidicas.
Right.
And they're using them, and it's like, oh yeah, like, kind of like how you see, like, modern-day pirates who are carrying AK-47s that are, like, Cold War surplus.
Yeah.
So, like, the idea that there's, like, leftover munitions from the Clone Wars that people are using, maybe we'll see some of that. Maybe we'll see, like, a beat-up old battle droid just hanging out back there, or somebody's using it to, like, mop floors or something.
Yeah, that'd be cool, because we never saw those in any of the films again, despite there being thousands of them.
Yeah, so I like the idea that this is bridging the gap between the two.
What do we got next?
More droids. This one's got a bad motivator.
Yep. So here we go. There's the astromech droid just hanging out, different colored, but yeah, again.
I love Ron Howard's just like dad joke captions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty obvious one there.
If you look really closely in this image, you can see a droid, and then there's Ron Howard. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I love that. This one got me excited because I'm getting the feeling we're going to get a little bit of maybe some kind of I don't know, like the bar on Coruscant in Episode 2, or of Canto Bight in the Last Jedi. I love those scenes. Those are always my favorites. Also, is that just eating dried cranberries with a Nautilus shell?
Yeah, so we've seen. I haven't shown you like any leaked set photos or anything like that. You can find them out there. There's also leaked Lego sets we can talk about. But one of the things we know is that Woody Harrelson plays a character in this movie. We don't know if he's like a father figure or Han Solo's father, but he's sort of dressed like he's some sort of chancellor or something kind of important, right? Mm-hmm. He's in more of a kind of official chamber type of thing. He's not really in some grimy bar. So we don't really know a lot about him, but I don't know. Maybe that's his craft service table. Maybe that's where he has lunch. I think
he loves to eat potpourri. That's his weird vice.
Like I said, I think this movie is gonna have a good mix of the sort of like grimy underground stuff and then sort of the more polished, higher end stuff. So yeah, let's keep going.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so the Empire's in this movie. They'll obviously play a threat. They always have. They always will. So there we have the. What was that?
That's like a Death Star commando.
That's right. What's
Imperial commando?
One of their helmets.
Yeah.
Just sitting there on the control panel again. So
yeah, and that's some very very original trilogy hardware there.
Yep. Again, kind of grimy looking background there. So I'm into it.
Yeah. And then there's Donald Glover.
Yep, wearing the Lando hair. That was the first time we saw him like this. Because again, outside of this shot on the right, which like still hasn't been officially released, we haven't really seen what this movie looks like yet.
No, I think there was a photo of him. Was he hanging out with Billy D. Williams? Did that happen?
I know that they had lunch. I
feel like there was a paparazzi photo of them having lunch together, which was pretty cool.
Right.
But if not, they just at least had lunch, which is nice.
Sure.
You know, who doesn't love a good meal? Hello, hello, hello. Anyway, I'm gonna take that off. This is funny.
Yeah.
It's just a car, but it's like a space car.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weird that he chose black and white for this. Also, whatever character is wearing gloves, which is odd.
I feel like a lot of people might wear gloves. I mean, Han Solo wears gloves in.
He wears the fingerless gloves. Donald Glover.
Donald Glover might be wearing he might be the titular Glover. Anyway, that's a really bad photo there. That's like a Stargate.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Tough neighborhoods contain doorways to adventure, mystery, and excitement. But again, showing the grimy criminal underbelly side of it. Many of you maybe didn't like Valerian, but I think Valerian, like the first third of it specifically, had a really cool section that kind of showed levels of that. It reminded me of something that Star Wars 1313, the canceled video game, was supposed to deliver us. This sort of deep dive into the criminal underbelly of a foreign, disgusting, nasty alien world. I really, really hope that that's where this movie goes.
Yeah. And then, of course, this one got a lot of people's attention. Spicy, you know, because the spice mines of Kessel, because the Kessel Run, probably a thing that's going to happen in this movie.
So, for those of you who remember, in A New Hope, Han Solo explains that the Millennium Falcon did the Kessel Run in under, 6 parsecs?
12 parsecs.
The Kessel Run was part of this place.
It's a charity marathon.
Would
you have to eat a whole mouthful of nutmeg and you have to run 12 miles. No, I mean, this is space cocaine that they dig out of the earth because, you know, George Lucas read Frank Herbert's Dune when he was younger. But yeah, I'm excited to see this as Star Wars lore has it. I think Wookiees were enslaved in spice mines a lot, and presumably that Chewbacca owes Han a life debt because he rescued him from slavery. So I think we're probably going to see that. I don't think that's like a spoiler or anything. That's kind of stuff that if you've been tracking Star Wars, you kind of pick up on that sort of thing.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I'm less enthused by the thought of seeing like a mine shaft, like kind of another space hallway, than I am seeing like a crazy space bar or like funky nightclubs with Nautilus shells full of craisins.
Yeah, I'm also less enthused about seeing a race.
Yeah, is it going to be a race though, or is it just going to be them trying to like? Is that like?
I mean, they're timing it, right?
I mean, I think it's more. I don't know. It's so parsec is actually distance. That's the whole thing. Is that the idea is that the navicomputers in Star Wars they plot a path, and the thing is the Millennium Falcon has such a good navicomputer that it's able to plot like a really efficient path. Oh. So basically, everyone else is using Google Maps, and the Falcon is using Waze. So it's able to be like,
they're playing 4D chess over there.
No, they got off the freeway and took a bunch of side streets to get through a bunch of weird planets, and then you know that's how he got there in 12 parsecs. Anyway, this is a great shot.
Shooting a scene about desperate and dangerous times.
Yeah, nobody showed up that day. He's like, I'm gonna film it myself. I don't know.
I wonder if we're gonna find out about like Han's first real loss, and whether that's going to be his father or his mother or his first girlfriend, whatever it is. This man shows up in A New Hope as a sort of selfish, not desperate, but very conniving, kind of cunning man that does sort of gain some heart and some trust with his friends. But even by the time he shows up in Empire Strikes Back, you know, Princess Leia is still pretty much like, get away from me, you gross dude.
Yeah. And then here's a really big one for Star Wars fans. Tag and Bink. Yep. If you're unfamiliar, Tag and Bink are characters introduced in the Dark Horse comics who I guess aren't technically canon anymore, but if they reintroduce them, then there you go. They're pretty much these guys who are always in the background. They're sort of like the Forrest Gump of Star Wars.
Right.
Like they're always there when something important is going down, but they're these two kind of bumbling officers who just sort of, you know, get through a bunch of stuff. So that's like a nice little bit of fan service in there, and I hope we see that. So. And then, of course, the really exciting shot here, the really good one, is his Ron Howard's shoes. Yep, there they are.
My trusty work boots were put to the test during today's action scenes for untitled Han Solo movie. Obviously, this was before it was called Solo. Thanks to cast and crew for a powerhouse day. I only put this in here because I had to see this going through Ron Howard's Instagram, so now you do too.
Yeah.
But also, are we going back to Tatooine?
I don't think we are.
You don't think so?
I don't. Maybe.
I mean,
I don't know. I feel like it's just I love Tatooine. I'm also totally okay if we never go back there. I mean, maybe make like a Mos Eisley movie that's like 4 rooms with different directions. Anyway, but There's also plenty of other desert plants we can see. You know, I don't know. Maybe we see Ord Mantell. I don't know.
Or
Jakku. Yeah, Jakku. Who knows? Anyway, Solo: A Star Wars Story is coming out on May 25th. That's Brandon Hunt's birthday, and it's exciting. Lawrence Kasdan, he wrote it. He's done all the Han Solo movies that Han Solo's been in, except for the first one. Key difference: Harrison Ford isn't in this one. And Harrison Ford famously went through the script and changed a bunch of lines for his own, so it's going to be really interesting to see how this actually pans out. I think we're probably going to get a trailer around the Super Bowl. Seems like a safe bet. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that front. Those are some of our hopes and dreams and expectations for Solo: A Star Wars Story or movie or whatever. We did a deep dive on one of the grossest scenes in The Last Jedi. Love it or hate it, you can't admit it's pretty funny when Luke Skywalker milks something. Also, they've announced the whole casting for Solo, but we did some fan casting of our own. I want Simon Pegg to play Dengar. Check that video out and watch Up at Noon every Thursday at noon Pacific time on IGN.